Namaskar. A very warm welcome to each one of you to this session of Tuesday gatherings. As is our tradition, let us begin with a prayer for grace. So just take a few moments to settle yourself. Become aware of your breath. Watch the breath without interfering in its journey, without exercising any control over its intensity, volume, anything. When breath happens on its own, it has a natural tendency to draw us within, to the core of our being, which is the place of harmony, peace, and stability. And from this space, let us ask for grace by offering a prayer to the Guru Principle. Om Akhandamandalakaram Vyaptam yena characharam Tatpadam darshitam yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwarah Gurureva Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Shri Sadgurave Namaha. We offer our prayers and obeisance to all the masters in the Guru Mandala. Once again, a very warm welcome to each one of you. Today's session is very special because we have a very special person who is going to share her life's journey with us. And she is none other than Hema Chhablani, who is one of the guiding spirits behind our group. So everybody knows her for the quiet efficiency with which she has been managing everything, the love with which she puts everything together, binds people, makes things happen. So she does not need an introduction. And yet, I feel privileged to speak something about her. We have shared a very deep personal relationship for the last 16 years. And it was a very interesting coincidence that brought us together. Dinesh, Hema's husband, was my subordinate. I had just been posted to Delhi. I was living with somebody. The family had not shifted. And one fine morning, I found that I was having very high fever. I did not go to office. And Dinesh called up to find out, and I think the fever was in the range of about 104, 105. My voice was shaking. So he asked me, "Have you got a test done?" I said, "No, don't know anyone in Delhi. And we'll see tomorrow." So he said, "No, you must get your test done." And then he said, "Okay, let me do something, I'll get back to you." And within 2 minutes, he called me again and he said, "My wife is in the vicinity. She has gone for some work. So I have told her and given her your address. She will come and pick you up and take you to some place where the test can be done. And then she will drop you back home." I didn't want to disturb or cause inconvenience to a lady. So I resisted the idea, and yet he was insistent and he said, "No, she is there. Within the next 10 minutes, she will be with you." And sure enough, after 10 minutes, Hema arrived and she took me to a clinic, got the test done, brought me back home. And then she became a kind of an anchor for us when a proper house was allotted to settle down, to get things done. And this was the start of a relationship of love and trust that endured not during my stay in Delhi, but afterwards. So much so that when I was transferred to Mumbai from Delhi, I used to go back to Delhi for some meetings, etc. I would find time to just go and spend about an hour or so with Hema and her husband or children. And then one day, the couple told me that, "Look, you come here for 1 hour, 1.5 hours. It's not good enough. So you stop staying in the government guest house. Next, whenever you have to come, this is your home. You are most welcome here." And for a long period of time, whenever I went to Delhi for work, I never asked for a guest house. I would just go and stay with them. So here is someone who just opened her home, her heart for me. So what works to build this kind of relationship? We don't know. Certainly it has to do something which we have shared at a very deep level or an intimate level through many lifetimes. And then, as luck would have it, Hema and Dinesh came to Mumbai. Though we were not able to meet so often because of the constraints of travel in Mumbai, But it was very comforting to know that she is there. And when COVID happened, she called up and said, look, we should do something for people, start a satsang kind of thing, which will assure people, take care of their fears and apprehensions. So fathers find it very difficult to say no to daughters. So I found it very difficult to say no to Hema. So despite my reservations about it, we started. And that has put together this group. And when I look back over the last 2 years, or a little more than 2 years, it has meant a lot for each one of us here. We have grown in so many ways, some seen and most unseen. So here is Hema, who is responsible for having done all this or having brought this about. I don't say that she did it, but she is intuitive. She has been guided by the divine, and that is how many noble initiatives or many noble things are going to are happening around her, and they are going to happen around her. So, and as she shares her journey through life, one thing will stand out, that she is somebody really special. From her childhood, she had sensibilities and sensitivities which are normally not found in people, and which are indicative of a soul that is mature and that has seen much in life, in earlier lifetimes, and grown. So I think this much should be enough to kindle your curiosity, and I should not be standing between you and Hema anymore. So Hema, you are most welcome to come and be the speaker and not the host, at least for today. So a very warm welcome to you, and the stage is all yours. Most welcome.
Thank you, sir. So first of all, good evening or good afternoon to everyone who's present here. सर ने बहुत कुछ बोला है मेरे बारे में, और मुझे आज भी वो इंसिडेंट याद है जब मैं सर को फर्स्ट टाइम पैथोलॉजी क्लिनिक ले गई थी. एंड ड्यूरिंग द होल टाइम में जब हम जा रहे थे और ड्राइव करके आ रहे थे, आई वॉज ड्राइविंग द कार, गाड़ी चल नहीं रही थी मेरे से. सर बैठे हैं, दिनेश कॉल्ड मी, यू हैव टू टेक माय बॉस फॉर अ टेस्ट. और इनकम टैक्स इतना फॉर्मल एनवायरनमेंट है, वी नो एवरीबडी. सो हाथ पांव वैसे ही ऐसे हो रहे थे कि ओहो सर को ले जाना है. और मैं हर बार ये सोच रही हूँ, व्हाई द कार इज नॉट रनिंग प्रॉपर्ली. और मैं सर को लेके गई, वापस आई, उनको उनके अपार्टमेंट के जहाँ वो रहते थे सर, वहां छोड़ा, फिर मैं अपने घर गई. एंड द मोमेंट आई ट्राई टू पुल द हैंड ब्रेक, आई रियलाइज कि हैंड ब्रेक ही लगा हुआ है. द होल टाइम आई हैड ड्रिवन द कार विद द हैंड ब्रेक ऑन. आई वाज सो लॉस्ट. So this was what I would say the aura of sir, but sir is not the usual type of sir. And slowly I developed a very personal and intimate bond with sir. I consider him as my father. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to share the incidents as and when happened in my life. Some learnings I got at the same time, and some learnings I got as I progressed further and keep on thinking and contemplating on it. So, right from the childhood, the very first impression that I have got was I was 6 and 7 years old. We had a big photograph of Sai Mulchan Fakir in one of our walls. I will request Anju, please share the photograph. Yeah, so here's the photograph of Sai Mulchan Fakir. So he was a Sufi saint who lived in Pakistan. He was my grandfather's guru. My grandfather is on the right side. And there was always something in his eyes whenever I used to look at this picture, as if it's asking me, what are you doing? And being a child of 6 or 7 years old, I always used to run away, shy away, did not look into his eyes. And slowly, after some time, after years, I realized that he was asking me why you are not on the path of sadhana, why you are not doing this. This was the question that was there in his eyes, which as a young child I failed to understand. Anju, you can take the photograph. Thank you. So this was my first impression. Moving ahead, in 1975, it was a movie time every Sunday on Doordarshan, we all know. And that Sunday, it was a movie time. The movie was Himalaya Se Uncha, starring Sunil Dutt and Mallika Sarabhai. And it was a story of about two lone survivors, two kids who were the lone survivors of a plane crash. And somehow I could not carry on continuing watching this movie. Their pain, their struggle, their trauma just gripped me. And I could not take it any further. There were more than 12 to 15 people at that time in my home, as everyone was watching movie during those times. I sneaked out. Nobody noticed that I am missing or I have disappeared. And I roamed in the lanes of my colony in Delhi, crying, because I could not handle that movie. I could hear the sounds which were playing in each and every household. And when I could make out that the interval has come, I again came back so that people will not, Hema kidhar. I was not Hema, actually, I was Punita before marriage, and they used to call me Punu. So they will not say ki Punu kidhar gayi. So I again came back, and again when the movie started, I sneaked out till the movie ended. This was my first association with pain. So I must be around 8 or 9 years old at that time. And observing all these things, I used to observe all the goods and bad things happening in my childhood, in the family. And there was these questions coming in my mind. Why people can't live in peace? Why there is no love? Why people hurt each other, play games? And I had many questions and observations. But whom to ask? Both my parents were working. We were raised by extended families and nannies, me and my brother. So practically there was no one around me as a little girl to get answers from. And slowly, this habit of mine gave rise to asking questions from universe. Of course, my questions at that time were very kiddish, mundane. And I used to, अच्छा आज कौन सा ड्रेस पहनेंगे आप बताओ, you know, whenever I have to go to a party or something. And if I have to study for some exam, some test, okay, should I do this or should I do that? Give me a clue. So I'll wait for some clue for the universe. Sometimes it used to come in numbers, in some messages, in some text, someone calling me. So all sorts of things. Slowly, my questions became deep. And I left those small kiddish kind of questions. I will just refer my notes here. So even when I was in school, I used to think in retrospect, how were my reactions? How I reacted? What I said? Was it good? Was it okay to say that thing? And every time something or the other was just circling my mind. I remember one of my friends, or many of my friends, used to tell me, Hema, you think and comprehend things differently. Of course, it was not meant to be in a good taste. And I used to think, kuch galat hai mere andar. Something is not right in me. Everyone is thinking the same thing. Why this thing is there? That I am observing people, I am observing myself. What is this? And life moved ahead. There was a lot of self-study which went on. I realized during this process of self-observation and self-study that yes, I have so much of negative emotions in me. I have anger, irritation, impatience, streaks of jealousy, envy, everything is in me. I could see my shadow self. Everything was just in front of a canvas, and I didn't used to like it. And then this started coming up, what to do about it. And at those times, I also realized that there is two in me. One who is observing and one who is being observed. And I thought the one who is observing me is putting me into all those contemplation, all the insights, whatever is. But these were all those things which were not making any sense to me when I was a child or maybe in my young age. And slowly, things started taking shape. And I started reading books, and I understood that reading is something else, but putting it into practice is something else. पढ़ने से क्या हो जाने वाला है? And I remember how God sir used to say here, सबसे छोटा डिस्टेंस जो हम कवर करते हैं वो दिमाग से दिल तक का होता है, लेकिन कितनी लंबी दूरी है वो. And these words always used to just circle in my mind. And I say how people talk about enlightenment and moksha, they are not just simple casual things. बस अब मेरा ये जन्म आखिरी है, अब मेरे को हो गया, this is my last birth. It's not so easy. इतना काम अपने ऊपर करना है. With all those things circling, I observing my negative patterns. It was a full chaotic mess around me at that time. Lot of lowness, lot of depression. What is happening? Why this is happening? All sorts of things were just keep on circling my mind. And I remember in one of the sessions which Satantra Kumar sir took, he said, कचरे में जब कंकड़ डालते हैं ना तो मट्टी ऊपर आ जाती है. तो अब ये जो मट्टी ऊपर आ गई है ना, तो इसका टाइम आ गया है निकलने का, साफ होने का. That gave me some reassurance. If I am looking, understanding, observing, maybe something good will happen. And now later I can understand what he meant exactly. So when we put the light of attention to our all the, what should I say, negative things that are there inside us, the light of attention starts taking care of it. Moving ahead, when I got married to Dinesh. So I got married to Dinesh in 1992, February. And within few months of marriage, there was something which I realized within me, that this is not a normal marriage. This is not a typical husband and wife kind of things which I see. There's something more to it. So what I am doing, what I am today, in respect of wisdom, understanding, knowledge, it's all because of it. And I have considered him always as my guru. That doesn't mean that I don't get angry or feel anger towards him. So, but I remember only one or two incidents in my life till now when I have shouted at him. I can remember only two incidents. And in those two incidents also, I don't feel good inside. So I remember one incident here. We were in Delhi and Mrs. Gaur has arranged some get together in her house, and we were there. And she was quoting Mungle sir. Her son was that time, I think, in college or something. I don't remember that much. And she said, Mungle sir ने बोला है कि इसकी जो बीवी होएगी ना वो इसको गुरु समझेगी. And Mrs. Gaur said, ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है? And I told Mrs. Gaur, I am the example here. It's very much possible because I have the same feeling towards him. Till now, Dinesh protects me from everywhere, whatever you call it, mentally, emotionally, financially, whatever. Many things he keep it to himself, thinking कि हेमा परेशान होएगी, उसको बताने की जरूरत नहीं है. And after some time, of course, I'll come to know that this thing has happened. He said, you relax. Because he knows that, oh, I have a very lover kind of relationship with pain. So moving ahead, I also had a feeling of deja vu, you know, when you feel that this thing has already happened, which is happening now. And then but I didn't know the word, what is it? This also came very later in life, that this is called deja vu. Moving ahead, so I was not a ritualistic person. I'm still not a very ritualistic person. And when I got married, I started doing puja. शादी के बाद बहुत कुछ बदल जाता है. So I started doing puja. I had a small temple. I started doing puja. After a few days, a little voice inside me spoke. किसको बेवकूफ बना रही है? अपने को या भगवान को? तेरे अंदर से तो प्रार्थना आ नहीं रही है. And that was the moment I realized what does it mean to have doing things with heart. What does it mean to have the bhav? And then I never did the pujas regularly, but whenever I did, once a week, twice a week, even for a minute, I used to do it with my full heart. I know I'm there with him. Well, let's move ahead to a very interesting sighting I had in Delhi. I would not say interesting, I can say interesting now, but it was a scary sighting at that time. So we were posted in Delhi, we were in Hutko, and we were on the third floor. They were apartments. So I had two children. So every day it was a routine, getting up around 5 o'clock in the morning, cooking food, opening the doors, taking the milk packets. It was a routine. One day when I opened, it was a winter morning. So most of the time it is very dark, everyone who is familiar with Delhi environment. So when I opened the door, there was this small child in a white vest and a shorts. He was sitting on the stairs which went up to another flat or apartment, and he was looking straight into me. He was a 5, 6 year old boy, and he was smiling. He was not physically present at that time. I got very scared, and I prayed to God that time. ये क्या है? ये आप क्यों दिखा रहे हैं मेरे को? मुझे ये सब नहीं देखना है. And I continued to watch him for coming 3, 4 days more. I could make out that he's still there, but I never looked at him. So this was the strange incident that happened. Why I'm sharing? Because many more followed after that. Moving ahead, let's move to a near-death experience which happened in Gujarat in 2001, 26th January, the earthquake. Everyone is familiar. So we were posted in Ahmedabad at that time, and since it was 26th January, Dinesh had gone to office for flag hosting ceremony, and I was alone with two young kids, 4 and 8 at that time. So we had a penthouse at that time. So we used to sleep upstairs. Because children were small, so we used to have those, that mattress, जहाँ से बच्चों की गिरने का कोई डर नहीं रहेगा. In the other rooms we had bed, but in the penthouse it was all mattress, and we used to sleep, so that we all have a peaceful sleep, no falling in the night. So my son, who was 4 at that time, climbed down the stairs, and I picked him up and was just washing his face. There was milk I have put it in the pot to boil, but the gas was not on. It was 8:45 or something like that at that time. And the earth started shaking. He was in my arms at that time. I could make out that it's an earthquake because I'm being born and brought up in Delhi, so I know how it feels. So I thought, earthquake hai, chala jayega. But it continued. It continued. Now I was worried about the other one who was sleeping upstairs. And as it intensified more, my daughter got up from sleep and she called me Mama. I said, Vandita, her name is Vandita. I said, Babu, quilt mein apne aap ko pura ढक लो. Sir bahar mat nikalna. Just cover yourself up and don't climb down. Because I have heard stories, when you climb down, you topple. This is a different kind of story. And it intensified more. Now the sheer fear gripped me. I could not balance myself at that time. I had to take the support of chairs, of the dining table chairs. And I started shouting and screaming, oh God, please stop this. Please stop this. And the fan was touching the ceiling. Everything started falling. And at that time, I realized maybe this is the end for all three of us. और उस समय ऐसा हुआ किस मलबे में मरेंगे, जल्दी मरेंगे, तड़प के मरेंगे. So I was just praying to God at that time कि जल्दी मार देना, तुरंत मार देना. And it was not stopping. Earthquake that day went for 90 seconds. And when it stopped, we were shaking. I called my daughter. I said, Babu, just run now. She came down. I picked up the purse. I picked up my mobile. And since I was in the 10th floor, I knew that you don't have to take the stairs at that time because aftershocks keep coming. And I just ran through the stairs. And I was the last person in 50 flats in that story to come out. And everyone who was standing outside, Are, Hema ji, aap upar hi thi kya ab tak? I said, with 2 kids, how can I manage? So with this thing, that thing came out, you have to live in present moment. You're not sure about the next moment also. क्या प्लान करते हैं हम? So the present moment की जो learning आई वो उस episode से आई about that earthquake. Moving further ahead. Okay, so let's talk about anger here. My mother used to call me Jhansi ki Rani. I had lot of anger in me. And yes, she was worried. बेटी है, शादी होगी, कितना गुस्सा करेगी, पति के साथ कैसे रहेगी. But I was not bothered. I was not aware. And I was a non-vegetarian. We were Sindhis. I am Sindhi, sorry. So we eat non-veg. So it was twice or thrice in a week we used to have it. So this incident happened when we were posted in Nagpur. It was 2003. And I was in the passenger seat and Dinesh had gone for some work. I was just sitting in the car. And I saw from a little distance that there is some butchering going on. That changed something in me that day. I could not see. The sight of it created so much of ripples in me, inside me. And I said, why harm someone who fill my tummy? I have a choice. So I have a choice, so let me be vegetarian. My father used to laugh at it. Like Greenland में पैदा होती तब non-veg और veg में क्या choice करती? So you know, so आपको बड़ी खुशी होती. You know, Papa, I have turned vegetarian. He said, go in some cold region and then tell me that you are a vegetarian. Then I will tell you. So it's my personal experience. It might be a coincidence that after I stopped eating non-veg, my anger reduced. It might be a sheer coincidence, but I'm sharing it. This is what I felt. This is my personal experience. So my anger went down. And then I realized, of course, it took time for this learning to come in, that there are stages to anger. The first of you are not even aware that you have an anger issue, which I was not aware initially. After getting married to Dinesh, I realized, okay, gussa andar aa raha hai, iska matlab gussa hai andar. The second stage is gussa kar diya, and after 2 days, 3 days, you realized कि ये ठीक नहीं किया मैंने गुस्सा करके, क्या जरूरत थी इतना गुस्सा करने की उस समय. The third stage comes while you are expressing anger at that moment. Something in you is telling you are again angry, but you keep on continuing with your anger. Then the fourth stage comes when you stop in between. You just stop. Of course, it's a very difficult stage to gulp down everything. You have all the things that are coming into you to put that person right in its place, but somehow you just hold. That time it is a kind of suppression, that you suppress your anger at that time. But the more you experience it, the more you observe it, the more you stop in between, it gives you more strength. And after some time, it doesn't come so often. It will be a rare phenomenon to you. And then at that time, you can handle it more wisely. कि अच्छा गुस्सा तो करना है, लेकिन टोन को किस तरह से चेंज करके गुस्सा किया जाए ताकि आदमी इतना वो वेनम स्पिट ना हो उस टाइम. So all these stages took time, and it all depends upon the kind of intensity, the work that we do on ourselves. It will not happen in months. It takes time. कितनी हंगर है एंगर को अंदर से निकालने की, तब जाके होगा. मुझे यहाँ पे एक और दिनेश हमेशा बोलता था, हेमा, why you are like a pendulum? You go here, and then you go here. Why can't you be in the middle? You know, वो words ना, वो जब moment पे बोलता है ना, कोई तो ऐसा छुरा आपके सीने में किसी ने खोप दिया है, and आपको तो पता है कि आपको एंगर आ रहा है, लेकिन कोई और आदमी बोलता है तो और गुस्सा आती है. But later it made sense. Yes, I am like a pendulum. जैसा जैसा इवेंट्स लाइफ में हो रहे हैं, वैसा वैसा अपन इधर से उधर डोल रहे हैं. So it became a thing in me that I have to learn how I have to be in balance. Dinesh was a living example in my house. And many a times, अरे इसको खुल के हंसता क्यों नहीं? You know, but now as this person is in balance of his emotions. He doesn't get sad when it is a sad moment. I will share the moments little later in my talk. And he doesn't get carried away with all the, what should I say, the comedy stuff that happens in our life. So he was always in center. And that quality I wanted from him, कि ये मेरे अंदर ये आ जाना चाहिए. I'm still trying. I will say I'll still try. So this was my association with anger. Now let's move ahead. Let's talk about Gaur sir. Gaur sir entry into our lives was for a special purpose. He was, what should I say, posted or put in Delhi for us both, because we didn't know what is coming ahead in our lives. But someone up there knew that we will be needing him. As I said, in income tax department, it's a very formal kind of atmosphere. But with sir, it was and it is always a very heart-to-heart communication that happens with sir. So all the questions that I had in me, whatever was just brewing in me regarding life, I wanted to know the mysteries of life, phenomena of life, what all is happening. Sir was the person who used to give me that guidance, the insight about life. Sir was posted in Delhi for a very short span, I think for 1.5 years or so. And again, he was posted back to Bombay. And whenever he used to come to Delhi, so Dinesh used to call me, Hema sir is coming. I said, ha, question ready rakhna hai. You know, so my questions were always ready. And then I used to contemplate, kaun se question sabse important hai? Because sir used to come for 1 hour, 1.5 hours. So the hunger, you know, started building up more and more and more. And then one day we told sir, sir, aap idhar udhar kyun guest house mein rehte hain? Come and stay with us. It was selfish, pure selfish interest. because we wanted to know so much from him. And his presence in our homes, in our lives, was just amazing. As if किसी बहुत बड़े का you know how you feel when a guru has come into your home. It was that kind of feeling we used to feel. So both Gaur sir and Madam, they have been instrumental in our journeys. Madam Gaur called me one day for a personal meditation sessions. That day I realized what meditation is. It was in 2007 or something, or maybe 6, I think. And then there was these satsang which used to happen in Fiki auditorium of Guru Mai, and Sari used to call us, and we used to go, and it was the most amazing experiences I had during those times. And I think the formal kind of journey started with Sir's entry. I would share my first past life regression session here. So Sir and Dinesh used to talk a lot about all these spiritual things, spiritual books, masters, teachers and gurus. And one such book was Many Lives, Many Masters. Sir would remember it. And he said, Dinesh, you go through this book. And Dinesh bought that book. I also read. And we were in, of course, we were in Delhi at that time. And my next door neighbor, she was a clinical hypnotherapist who did PLR. It cannot be a coincidence. And Dinesh said, let me go first. As Dinesh is, he wants to protect me. Let me experience it. जब मुझे ठीक लगेगा, then you go. Of course, Dinesh went. He had experience, he had visions, he understood what he was looking for. And then he said, Hema, you go. So she was a young girl of 28 years old. And she said, okay, auntie, kiske liye aapko regression karana hai? You need to have some subject or something in you that you want to find out why it is there in your life. I said, as such, I don't have anything, but I have this allergy with dust and smoke. So we can have that. He said, yes, that's a good thing. So we will find out why you have allergy with dust and smoke. And of course, I had visions. I got my answers. And after some time, I noticed that the allergy symptoms, that sneezing, watery eyes, have reduced a little bit in me. I am very observant about myself. And I said, ये ऐसे क्यों हो रहा है? हूँ तो मैं दिल्ली में ही, सब कुछ वैसा ही है. ये ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है? Then I started reading. I think there was another book by Brian Weiss, which is Time into Healing, Through Time into Healing, something of that sort. I was traveling somewhere, I read that book, and I understood. When you see yourself, when you do a PLR, past life regression, natural healing starts happening automatically. So I dig more further into it. So 3 things I came out. First, when you see your past life, one thing that dawns upon you is that you don't get afraid of death. आप देख रहे हैं मैं पीछे भी थी, I died, okay. So death का phenomena का डर कम हो जाता है. Second thing that happened is you see all those incidents from a third perspective now. Suddenly you are watching a movie of yours playing on some screen, but you are far away. A bird's eye view kind of thing. Whenever you don't want, you can just move. You don't want to see this. And the third thing, catharsis happen at that time. You cry, you feel sad, all the pain and everything you feel again. So these are the three reasons what happens in a past life regression session. So I became more curious. I started learning about them. And one fine day, I gave a PLR session to one of my friends, and then to family members, and to more friends. Few of the friends are present here because they had that faith in me. Acha, Hemant se karwa rahe hai, okay. And I respect that thing. And I'm very grateful for all the friends who have that trust in me, because I had not taken that formal training in conducting a PLR. And later, when professionally also people started calling me, Dinesh was a little skeptical about it. He said, you are not a trained person, you are not a doctor, you should not do it. You know, how income tax law, everything comes into their mind. And I always say, okay, I will always used to say, refuse, no, only friends, only family, no outsiders. And then one day I called Mr. Piyush Saxena, who came to our Tuesday gatherings, because he does PLR sessions. And I told him, he said, you are good to go, you have so much of knowledge. I think they can make out the teachers. But yes, later I took the formal training of PLR, and till now I have regressed more than 50 people, and all have amazing results. Okay, so I moved little ahead. This was in 2007. We were in Shirdi at that time, extended family. And we were just roaming the lanes of Shirdi. You know, there's a lot of market around after the darshan of Baba. And one Baba's idol, I just fell in love with it. And I said, I want this. So I got that idol. I got it packed in a carton, because I had to take at least a route to come back to Delhi. I had to go to Indore via car, then from Indore to Bhopal via bus, then from Bhopal to take a Shatabdi back home to Delhi. So 3 spots. Sorry, इनको तो carton में अच्छे से secure pack कर दो. The shopkeeper packed everything, and I came back home. धर्मशाला में हम लोग रुके थे शिरडी के, and there was this Panditji sitting. The extended family people knew a Panditji, so the Panditji उन लोगों ने बुलाया, तो Panditji उनसे मिलने के लिए आए. He used to do the aarti in the Sai Baba मंदिर. He said, बाबा को लेके आई हो, पैक करा के कार्टन में, घर में ले जाओगी और डेकोरेशन पीस बना के रखोगी. मैं आप कुछ नहीं बोली, पंडित जी हैं. He said, कल सुबह घर आना और पूजा करा के जाना. And I was thinking, मैं तो रिचुअलिस्टिक बंदा ही नहीं है, मैं बाबा को स्थापना कराएगी, रोज पूजा कैसे करेगी? And so many things were coming and going in my mind. All my relatives, they could make out, they know what Hema is. बोले हेमा वो ठीक है, उन्होंने पंडित जी ने तुमने बोला है, but it has to be your decision. And that time I remember the words said by Sir God, sir, never say no to anything and never ask for anything. And at that moment I said, let's go. So we went in the morning, got the puja done, and then the Panditji said, carton में पैक कर दूं क्या वापस? I said, नहीं, आप carton में कैसे जाएंगे? मैं कहा अब तो ये गोदी में जाएंगे. So Baba came from all, in car, in bus, in Shatabdi train, in our godi, me and my daughter's godi. And it's a heavy idol, murti heavy. Again, whether you call it a coincidence or there's another plan to it, Shatabdi में seats होती हैं जो change हो जाती हैं, and there is a table in between. I think everyone is familiar. We got those seats. So we put Baba on the table in the Shatabdi, and everyone who was coming and going was going down. When we got down from Shatabdi train, even on the platform station, everyone was, and I was just feeling, you feel very overwhelmed with that feeling. And with Baba coming in my house, I had someone whom I can talk on a daily basis. I started talking to Baba on a daily basis, not knowing, again I would say, what was coming ahead. So now the major year of my life started in 2008. So my children were very fond of animals and they were after us, get us a dog, get us a dog. We waited for a year to see whether it is a real hunger in them. हमने बोला लेंगे तो तुम्हारी पॉकेट मनी से लेंगे, because we wanted them to realize that what is the importance of money. What being you have got in home, you have to take care of the dog. सब चीज के लिए वो लोग ready. And Buddy came. Anju, can you show a picture of Buddy here? Since Anju is putting up a slide and another one, I will just share one more thing. In my PLR, I saw very tall people as my spiritual guides. And Gorsar was very tall. I said, they are my spiritual guides. And Sai Mulchan Fakir, my father and mother says he was nearly 7 feet tall. So I have some very, what should I say, deep and very interesting association with tall people. I fell in love with tall people but just immediately. This is my Buddy. So Buddy came in my lives in March 2008 and he changed so much in me. The way he never used to bark for anything. The way he used to wait patiently for his food, for even going out for morning walks. He will just wait patiently. And at that time, this learning came from him. This is what you have to be when your master is there. We all have our masters somewhere or the other, in physical form or not in physical form. This is the trust, because he knew कि मैं उसको खाना दूंगी ही दूंगी. So Buddy taught me कि master पे trust और faith कैसा होना चाहिए. Just wait patiently. When the time is right, it will be given to you. So Buddy के case में, when the food was made, it will be given to him. He used to wait for prasads. Dogs, as you know, they are very fond of sweets. So I used to do Sundarkand and he used to wait for more than 2 hours. The prasad, the halwa was right in front of him, but he never used to touch it. There was a clock in him. उसको पता पड़ जाता था कि अब ये खत्म होने वाला है. And then he will not. अब तो उसको सबसे पहला शेयर उसको चाहिए प्रसाद का. And rightly so. First prasad always went to Buddy. I remember when we used to took him to vets, and he used to ask, "Have you mated Buddy with someone?" I said, "Yes, we have tried, but he's not interested." He said, "तुमने इसको संत बना दिया है अपने घर में." I used to laugh. So Buddy used to meditate with me. He used to just sit beside me in the mornings. And whenever I will get up, just 5 minutes before, there was a timer in him which he would make out, and he will get up and go out. It was time for tea and biscuit. So very fondly, I used to call him Chota Guru till now, because he taught me so many things. With Buddy came a whole lot of animals into my life. My touch with animals changed. How I looked into animals and birds just changed. And I think it happens with all those people who have the animals in their homes as pet animals, or maybe they are looking after some street animals. Anju, can you show another slide, please? So here are some of the photographs which I have taken of all the animals. There are a few more. So my touch changed and they also responded equally back to me, as if I became a magnet for animals and birds. Thank you, Anju. So let's move further ahead in May of the same year of 2008. So we had a Maruti car which was to be sent to Indore to my brother-in-law. And Dinesh told me, driver will come, you give the keys to him, he will take the car to Indore. Of course, he will drive the car to Indore. I said, okay, fine. And the driver came. I don't know why. I went along with the driver to the parking lot. So I said I was on the 3rd floor. I went where the car was parked. And as he was checking the car, the papers and everything, I touched the car. And I started caressing the car and tears started flowing. And I was hiding my tears from the driver कि वो क्या सोचेगा कि ये रो क्यों रही है. So I was hiding my tears, and in that moment a communication was going on between me and car. I thank you for taking care of us. I used to drive. I used to take my children to hospital sometimes late at night. Dinesh was sometimes busy in raids or busy in many other things due to official things, traveling. So I gave my gratitude to the car. Thank you for taking us, not breaking down in between, no hassles. And then I told the car, now please go to my brother-in-law safely, reach there in Indore. And that was my goodbye to my car. And I was realizing, what is this happening? And then I noticed why I'm communicating with a non-living thing. So many more events happened. I will share one more incident here that happened in 2014. So we were in Delhi and our ancestral home was being renovated, fully renovated. So of course everything was just everything, the furniture, the fixtures, everything was given to that, what should I say, the demolition company who takes everything and make the land flat for a new construction. So of course, not feeling good within seeing your ancestral home being pulled down, but sometimes is the need of the time. So I went one day, so I saw my dada's chair, which he has made from, like, made in the sense, really made, constructed that chair. That chair was there. And the chowkidar was sitting on that chair. And I looked at that chair and said, Acha, theek hai. I went and my father and brother were there. We talked, yahan ye, and I came back home. After a year or so, I went again. This time, the renovation had completed. I mean, the construction of the new building had completed. So my father had an office in the new constructed site. And this time I saw the chair is again being used by the peon of my father. And that chair used to have those white mesh we used to have in older times. White color ki patli patli pipes. वो यहाँ से टूट रही है, वहां से टूट रही है, but that you used to put a gaddi and used to sit. Okay, registered the chair, and our transfer orders came in 2015 to Bhopal. And I called my brother. I said, I want that chair. I said, get it cushioned. I said, usko red cushion kar dena and send it to me. I'm taking it to Bhopal. I said, okay, fine. Chair hi to hai. So he sent that chair to me to Delhi, and then the chair came to Bhopal. And after a few days, my father-in-law, who just lived next door, we are neighbors, he had a fall. And he wanted a sturdy chair so that he can sit. And I said, I have a chair. I would like Anju to please show that photograph of that chair. And my father-in-law is still using that chair. Every time I visit and see that chair, and I tell that chair, you had a purpose. You had a purpose. Scroll down a little. ऊपर वाली है, yes. So this is the chair. I have clicked this photograph just 2-3 days back. So this chair is now, I think, more than 70 to 80 year old. And my Dada used to do all his spiritual work sitting on this chair. He has written 2 books. Thank you, Anju. He has written 2 books. Of course, the books are initially were in Sindhi. Now they have been translated into Hindi. So this was another incident which happened with a non-living thing. And then many incidents followed with things. I used to buy a thing, and the thing will never be used by me. And someday someone will come and I will just pick it out and give it to them. And at those moments I realized, तुमको तो पता था तुमको किसके पास जाना है. So I was just a caretaker for months or for years. I will share one more incident here. I was in Jankeshwar this year. I think it was December. No, sorry, April. So I was sharing a room with a fellow participant of the Shiva. And there was a new piece of clothing with me. It was a Lucknowi tights with me, which my friend Bandita, who is here, she has gifted me. And the moment I said, okay, I'm going to wear this today, and that thing said, ye usko de de. I said, अरे वंदिता ने मेरे को दिया है और ये इसको दे दूं. Give it to her. It was just these words, give it to her. And I just gave it to her. What was it? Why? I had absolutely no clue. With food items, I used to have this. If I'm having my food, a bell rang, the thali is in my hand, glass of chach is there, the last glass of chach in my hand, and I opened the door. There is someone outside, maybe a courier guy or a fruit wala, and the chach glass, because the thali is in my other hand and I'm hiding it because I have to open the door, and the glass which said, "Ye usko de de." I said, "Acha, ठीक है, दे देते." So I said, "भैया छाछ पिएंगे?" I said, "हाँ ma'am," and I used to give that charge to that person. So these incidents, one thing I noticed that slowly, I just started listening to what is saying inside me. I never used to say no to it. There was one more incident. So I was in Delhi. So in Srifort, there is a Sai Baba's temple. We were in Putko, and I used to go to Malviya Nagar to help my brother in his work. And every time I used to drive back around 2 o'clock because my kids will be coming back from school. So I used to reach exactly at that time where the bus will come, and I should be at home to receive them. It never used to happen on a daily basis. The moment I was little away from the mandir, there was this call, Aja. I said, Baba, मेरे को बच्चे घर में आ जाएंगे, घर लॉक दिखेगा. I have to go home. And it was just like that, Aja. I said, okay. I just used to drive quickly, park the car. Okay, I'm here, I'm going. बच्चे आ जाएंगे. It's not easy, I think, being a female to be on a spiritual path. It's my observation. There's so many things, multitasking every time, so many things. We are just pulled here and there. So these were the incidents with non-living things, so to say, which I had. Okay, now the turning point of my life came in September 2008. So, and excuse me if I just break down in between. So, before everything was very small events. But this was a major blow. It just blew me, ripped me apart. And my son Harsh was born in 1996. I will take some reference, some medical terms are there. So he was born in 1996, and at the age of 6, during a routine checkup, doctors noticed some abnormality in his heart. So there was some different kind of, what should I say, pulsation or some other beat which was coming. So there were some irregularities in his heartbeat. He advised us, so please take an expert opinion. He said something is not right here. And after a series of tests, echo, doctors came to the conclusion that his main valve, aortic valve, is not closing properly after pumping out the pure blood. So it's called leaking valve with regurgitation. And because of this, the heart has to exert more pressure to maintain the supply to the entire body. So the heart chamber size increases over the years. And the only option was to go in for an open heart surgery. We took advice from the doctors in India and abroad, but all of them advised us in the same direction. I, being the mother, was in complete denial. I said, इसको कुछ नहीं होगा, ये जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी उसको सर्जरी की. But time proved me wrong. We took posting in Delhi on health grounds in 2005, and the routine checkups started happening because we didn't have confidence in Nagpur at that time on the doctors, because it was early 2000. And after some years, during the routine checkups, doctor noticed that his heart chamber has increased, and now it is the time for a surgical intervention. In September 2008, he underwent an open heart surgery. At the age of 12. We as parents, we prepared Harsh for the procedure. We told him everything, what will happen, how it will happen, what all he will go through. He knew all about the operation, right? How he will be taking, he will be shaved off completely and everything. The surgeons and doctors there were amazed to see the kind of work that we have done on this child of 12 years. Because when the person came for shaving, he said, "Acha, aap mere ko shave karne ke liye aaye hain." You know, he was such a little boy. And फिर आप मुझे इंजेक्शन देंगे, फिर आप मुझे काउंटिंग के लिए बोलेंगे to count till 20 or 100. So we have prepared him. We also made it a point not to cry in front of him, so that because it will make him, maybe it will make him, you know, something is not right in me, why my parents are crying. This many of my family members still doesn't know, extended families. Maybe with this talk they will come to know. It was only because of the reason we wanted to shield Harsh from any kind of pity. Are bichara bachcha, are ye kya ho gaya. Simply because of that reason, we didn't want anybody to even treat him differently. We wanted it to be as natural. It's just like any other small surgery that we go. So Harsh was to be taken in the surgery in the afternoon, and nurse came in the evening. Of course, we have taken admission in the hospital that time. Harsh, because we were CGHS, so it was a very lavish room that Harsh got. And Harsh was so delighted to see the room. Mama, ये तो बिल्कुल 5-star जैसा है. उसको टीवी चलता था, बड़ा सा रूम, अपना टॉयलेट. Every time the nurse is coming, asking him, what you will like to have, Harsh, now? All those things. So he was very delighted. The PlayStation was given to him so that he can play his games. So everything was given to him. He was feeling like a Raja in that room. But he didn't know what was breaking inside us. So the nurse came and he said कि मैम आपको इसको पानी 9 बजे पिलाना है सुबह, फिर उसके बाद आपको उसको कुछ नहीं देना है क्योंकि इसको आफ्टरनून में लेके जाएंगे. I said okay fine, हर्ष तब तक उठ जाएगा. And we slept, both me and Harsh. Late during the night, she again came and she woke me up. I was in deep sleep. And she said, "Ma'am, usko early in the morning le jayenge. So aap usko pani 5 baje pilana subah." I said, okay. I was in half sleep. I went back to sleep. And suddenly I was jolted, I would say, from my sleep with a voice coming from here of my left side. Mama, I said, Harsh क्यों इतना सुबह उठा है? And I looked like this क्योंकि यहाँ से आवाज आ रही थी. There was nobody. Then Harsh was sleeping like this. So I was sleeping like this. Harsh was sleeping like this. We were at a T-point kind of thing. So I saw the Harsh तो सो रहा है उधर. कौन आवाज मारा है मेरे को? और हर्ष के बिल्कुल बेड के ऊपर क्लॉक था. The time was 5 o'clock. And I looked at that clock. I said, "Oh, मुझे इसको पानी पिलाना है." And उसको मैंने नींद से उठाया. मैंने बोला, "हर्ष बाबू, आपको पहले लेट के जाएंगे. So drink as much water you want." हर्ष ने खूब सारा पानी पिया and again went back to sleep. Now this water thing, it was such a major thing to give water at 5 o'clock to Harsh. I watched a movie many years later. It's Ankur Sharma ka case, something like that. It's on, I think, on Netflix or something. There the mother, not knowing or not realizing the gravity of this thing, she gave I think half a biscuit or something to drink to the child just before surgery, 2-3 hours prior. And she didn't inform the nurse also. होता है ना, आधा ग्लास तो पानी पिया है. It slips, the gravity आपको पता नहीं होती है. And that movie is all on that thing, that how that boy, because the doctors performing did not know that you have to empty the track before taking, क्योंकि anesthesia जाएगा. And the boy in that movie passed away in his own vomit on the surgical table in the OT. That thing hit me. I said, मैंने भी तो उसको पानी 9 बजे भी पिला सकती थी ना. और अगर नर्स पूछती कि आपने पानी पिलाया ना उसको जल्दी, तो मैं बोल सकती थी हाँ मैंने पिला दिया 5 बजे. Something woke me up. Now who woke me up? Of course the surgery went successful and everything. ये एक थॉट अंदर घर करके बैठ गया कि किसने मुझे जगाया नींद से. मैं तो बहुत डीप स्लीप में सो रही थी. And in the night, doctors called us to see Harsh. It was, I think, late 9 or 10. It was not an easy sight. There was only a sheet on his legs. His chest has been fully ripped apart. And you can see it. 2 big pipes like this were coming from both the sides. This much. Bottles were there where the blood was being collected. And you can see the blood. My world crashed that day. Seeing your child, and he was constantly asking for water because his mouth was getting dry. And nurse did not allow me to give water. She said, "Sirf 2 chammach pani pila do." That was not sufficient for him. It was such a helpless situation as a mother. There was tears which have flown. Maybe I thought usko pain hua hai isliye wo tears hain. But later I consoled myself because they might put some medicine in the eyes. So us wajah se bhai ho sakte hain. But it's such a major operation. So we never made it. We made it a point not to cry in front of him whenever we used to go into his room. He was such a sweet child. He never complained. अच्छा अब ये स्टिचेस कब खुलेंगे मेरे को, तब मुझे थोड़ा सा दर्द होएगा. And he used to make cards for all the nurses, surgeons and doctors. I used to make him busy in drawing. Harsh, make cards, soon you will be going home. Give thank you. So to each and every nurse, he used to give cards. During that time, I have completely cut off myself. I did not wanted to talk. Calls were coming of some friends and very near family members. I did not wanted to talk. There were people who came to meet us. I did not wanted to meet. There was a deep anger within me that why this happened, why I have to go through this, why my child has to go through this, what has he done? And in those times I felt why the world is not ending right now, why people are laughing, why people are just having a good time. My world is crushed. How can others' worlds be a happy place to be in? These was all the feelings that were coming in my mind, my heart. And later, of course, God Sir was there in Mumbai at that time. So They both were a major strength at that time. During those times, they have given us that strength to bear this thing. And the more I experience the pain within me, the pain of people around me, Dinesh, brothers, sisters, in-laws, the more I started understanding people. I could relate to people. This change happened within me. And there was also an understanding that at every given situation, when the pain is there, the suffering is there, you have a choice, either to become bitter or to become better. Something inside me chose to become something inside me chose, or I was guided to become better. So this gave rise to many questions. Why I am here? Who am I? What purpose I have in life? Why there is pain, there is suffering? All those questions during the course of life and years kept circling. And of course, meditation was there, and I started reading, listening. Because the pain never goes. So it's not like that once the surgery is over, everything is all rosy and gala in someone's life. It's a constant thing. And another thing, Harsh, being 12-year-old, looking into because the surgeon said, only after I see the valve, I can decide about the size of the valve which I am going to put in. So in spite of our best praying at that time कि उसको adult valve लग जाए, वो नहीं हो सका. So maybe after some more years, because he keeps on going for checkups. So as and when the need arises, he will again go for a redo surgery. He will again has to go for an open heart surgery. You know, whenever I hug him, there are two sounds that come. One is of the heartbeat, and one is of that artificial valve, the mechanical valve that is there in his heart. And it's not easy to listen to that sound. It just rips you apart. I'll just take a moment. There were two incidents that followed during our stay in the hospital. So we were coming back home, and there was a truck full of chickens who were in front of us on the road. And it felt all of the chickens that are there in that truck are my babies. And they are all, as you can imagine, and they are all going to be slaughtered. Such a deep pain inside me at that time. Another day, again we were coming back. There was this garbage heap which someone has put it on fire. And there was this big massive tree. And the leaves were burning. Not realizing, the sweeper has not realizing कि ये fire इतनी बड़ी हो जाएगी. And at that time I felt, मेरे को आग लगा दी है किसी ने. I am burning. I shared these two incidents with God sir, and he said, Hema, your heart center is being activated. And I remember after many years I told him, sir, ये कब खत्म होगा? When I will be, what should I say, normal and not experiencing the pain? He used to smile and say, that I don't know. So, every time feeling that knife piercing your heart again and again, it's not a good feeling. So let's move ahead. How a guidance comes. So it was my daughter's board exam result in Delhi. It was the result day, and you can imagine the kind of jitters we go through as a parent. Of course, because one of her papers had not gone well. So we were very scared as parent how much percentage she will get, whether she will get admission in good DU college. All these thoughts were circling in my mind, and I was cooking. And suddenly this sign just came in front of me in its full bloom. Anju, can you share the picture? Next one, yes. So this sign I was shown, it just came in front of me out of nowhere. There was a complete havoc in my mind of thoughts. However hard I was trying, it was not going. And suddenly this thing was shown to me. Stop it. It's dangerous to go into that terrain or region in that line of thought where you are traveling right now. So much of anxiety, palpitations, heart sinking, all those feelings were happening. And then something in me asked, can you do anything about it? Thank you, Anju. Can you change anything? The answer was no, I cannot do anything. So I don't know from where that sign came. And every time in the future also, whenever I am in that line of thinking, line of thought, where I cannot change things or do anything about it, now I mechanically put that danger sign in front of me and I call myself, Hema, वापस आ जाओ, उस गली नहीं जाना है, come back. It's dangerous to go into that lane. Moving little ahead. So this also God sir told us. He has also went to Nadi astrology in Delhi, in Safdarjung area. So Dinesh said, Hema, let's go. So I mean, you all people here must they take that thumb impression and the palm leaves are there. Agastya Rishi, they say that he has written something about all those people in the palm leaf. So if you're lucky, they search with your thumbprint. If you're lucky, you will have your palm leaf read. So we both gave our thumb impression, and luckily Dinesh leaf was found at that time. The leaves keep circulating, I think, in the entire India. So at that time, in that bunch, his leaf was there. Mine was not there. So Dinesh went in and he said, of course, Dinesh is Dinesh. He said, let me go and see. So I was waiting outside. There was this, what should I say, waiting lounge or area where there is sofa and some pictures of, must be their seniors or masters there. 2-3 photographs were there on the wall. And somehow I glued to one of the photographs there. And I got lost in that photograph. And that photograph started changing. Now what happened? I was shown how the person would have adjusted himself or would have come and sat in this chair or whatever where he was sitting just before the click of this photograph. And again, when I again stopped, because everything was happening so fast, and I was looking, the photograph started changing the faces and it just disappeared. There was absolutely plain wall in front of me. I could not see the photograph. I don't know, but I think it has to do with the prism exercise that Soli Bhai has said. I don't know, because that is the time when your thoughts become zero. You were in that vacuum kind of thing. Everything completely disappeared from wall. And this happens till now quite often. I see a picture, the picture will start changing faces, different faces will come and then it will just disappear. Why? What's the reason? I have no idea about it. Let's move further. How a divination tool, tarot, entered into my life. So it was also just a calling. Tarot seek. It was just like that. So I learned tarot, and with experience I can say, I tell this to all my students, tarot first changes you, then it will change the others, then you will be able to do the readings. And with all the people who come for readings, I noticed everyone has their story. Everyone is passing through struggles, pains, hurt. And I realized, is my pain so important? And at that time, I also realized what I have got. And I started giving thank you to the divine for all those things. After tarot, the shift little bit changed. That why me? Because it was थोड़ा समझ में आ रहा था, पर completely अभी समझ में नहीं आया था. वो why me वाला question mark फिर भी निकल के आ जाता था. But with tarot, something settled. And I started giving thanks to divine for all the things, for small things that happened in my life. Gratitude is and became a very big part of my everyday routine till now. Every morning I get up and I give gratitude for all the things, for all the learnings, the pains, the struggles, all the teachers, everything. So this is a routine of my life. We'll talk about tarot in a separate session, like Gaur sir has asked. Another sighting before we take a break today. So again, it was in Delhi. I was sleeping. I'm a very sound sleeper, but somehow in that day, I got up and I saw Dinesh sleeping. And A feet or a 1.5 feet above Dinesh, a man was sleeping, an old man was sleeping just above him. And I got so scared. Anju, can you show them? And I got so scared. Ye kya hai? The man was also sleeping. Of course, he was dressed in a different clothes. This is just to show you what I exactly saw, how it was. This is not a real image. So this is just to give you. So that man was sleeping, taking a karwat, and his eyes were closed, and his face was towards me. But this old man's eyes were closed. And I got very scared. Thank you, Anju. And I closed my eyes and went back to sleep. Harsh, sir, can we stop here, or you want me to have one or two more?
No, I think you can take a break.
Kundra ji is saying continue. So
Continue.
I'll take two more points.
Okay.
Okay. So let's talk about.
Does Kundraji know that your talk continues the next week also?
I have written part 1
Pattern.
in
Okay.
the invite.
Okay.
So let's talk about the connection with ancestors. I can't actually recall when I had this awareness, but I always felt that there are 5 ancestors around me at a given moment. One was the photograph that I showed in the beginning of Sai Mulchand Fakir, my Dada, my Tayaji, who passed away at a very young age when he was 42, my Masi, and my Bua. So they all have, of course, not in their physical bodies, but I used to feel their presence around me in any situations. So I will share one or two such situations. So I was in Delhi and I had joined a gym. So one day I was cycling and suddenly I felt that my Masi, Nimi Masi, like I said, we have been raised by extended family. So I have 2 Masis. They have raised me like their own child. They were young at that time and they were taking care of me. They were not married. So I felt that Nimi Masi is here. And I just brushed it aside and I continued cycling again. Next day, again I was in the gym. Again I was cycling. Again I felt it more, this time stronger. I stopped my cycling and observed it more, sensed it more, felt it more. And I came back home and in the evening I called sir. I said, sir, aisa feel ho raha hai. Sir said, Hema, are you going through some tough phase, some stress, some anxiety in your life? I said, जी sir, Harsh 12th class में है, उसका board exam है, and with boys it's different. You don't find them studying at all. And I was very much in stress at that time. He said, Hema, shayad she is here to remind you that she is here, she will take care. So you talk to her. Next day again I went to gym, again I was cycling, and again I felt her presence and I stopped and I started communicating with her. Of course I could not listen, but I could feel that she is present there. So I addressed her. I said, I love you, Masi. All the etiquettes and mannerism has come from her in me. So she used to tell us, don't sit like this, eat like this, don't drop things like this. So she has really groomed me. And then I told her what was the issue, why I am feeling this stress and anxiety. And that was it. And Harsh passed with flying colors. Another incident happened after some days. I was traveling. These incidents happens after a gap of 2-3 days, 2-3 days. I was driving the car, and the car in front of me had a number plate Mini 37. This cannot be a coincidence. And I was going to my mother's house, and I went home, to my mother's home, and I said, Mama, आज पता सुबह भी जब मैं उठी तो निन्नी मासी was in my thoughts. और आज अभी आ रही हूँ गाड़ी ड्राइव करके तो ये कार का नंबर प्लेट निन्नी 37 है. Who puts a number plate निन्नी 37? So my mother told me it's her birthday today. Maybe she wants you to remind that you have missed it. I came back home. I connected with her. Give my love and the wishes wherever she is. So many a times I used to send some fragrance around me, which was very typical of my bua. And later, with time, my father joined this gang of what I called my guardian angels. Slowly, with all this happening, need for outer guru became too much in me. And all the friends, we had a close group of 8 friends, and everyone has some or the other. And I always used to think, मेरे पास कोई नहीं है, sadness. And during those low times, I used to feel maybe तू लायक नहीं है अभी, you are not ready. Ready वाला word कम आता था, जितना लायक नहीं है वो word ज़्यादा आता था. And I remember during this course of Tuesday gatherings, one day I called sir. I said, sir, मेरा तो कोई guru नहीं है. Nobody is there. And very lovingly, he would say, I think to console me, Hema, you don't need a guru. So, with the sessions of Guru Principle and the sessions taken by Anjali ji on Dada Gavans were very big breakthroughs of understanding my journey. That my journey, my path is also a path. That self-observation and self-study is my path. That dawned upon me. And that gave me some solace. Yes, whatever I am doing, I am right. Another thing, I was I'm very observant. So anybody who is in the capacity of a guru, which I saw on TV or somewhere, I used to observe that person with a lot of eyes, detective eyes. And the moment he will have this thing frown or anger, this is not for me. If he is not in his control of his emotions, how he is going to guide me? कि मैं कहाँ से काम शुरू करूँ? So the person who were very angry, very egoistic, they were just getting dropped. And उसका result ये होता था कि अपने हाथ में कोई नहीं आता था. So the sadness always used to grip me. We will slip into, sir, should I take a meditation? It's going to be 2 hours now. I think I will take a meditation.
Take the meditation. Fine.
I will. So shall I take a meditation now?
Why not?
Okay. So before this meditation, what kind of meditation we are doing, it's also very important. So I'm taking chronology little ahead because of this meditation. So I started learning yoga in 2018. From my guru, she's Deepa Denu, her name is, she's from Uttarakhand, and she's a fantastic teacher. During the process of learning yoga, she told me, whenever I was doing a particular asana, she used to ask me, stress kahan aa raha? And whenever I used to give her some other answer, she would say, no, you're not doing it correctly. The stress has to come to this part of the body, this part of the body. And she said, relax all the other muscles and organs of your body. Sometimes organs तो relax हो जाते थे, लेकिन face के ऊपर stress आ जाता था because you are putting holding. He said, what is happening? Have that smile on your face. सोचो कि कहीं काम हो रहा है, उस organ को, उस जगह को visualize करो. And that is how I started realizing what is it to relax the muscles. With this, lot of calmness and patience came in me, which was earlier was not there. Like I said, my whistle used to just blow up. So with the yoga, with her instructions, with her advice, lot of calmness came in. So today also, right now also, you can see, are you stressed up while sitting? Are you intensed? Is some part of your body is in tension right now? You are just listening to me. You can just relax your body at that time. But we hold ourselves. Even while writing, our whole body is tense. Some people write like this. Some people put hand like this. It's only the use of the hand. Why we have to tense our whole system? So the meditation that we are going to do is all about relaxing and noticing our entire body. So I would like all of you to please adjust yourself. With your eyes open away, just don't close your eyes. Just look around the things which are there in your room. All the furnitures, the curtains, the bed sheets, the tapestries of the sofas or anything else. Just look around, their shape, their structure, just everything, just look. And now very gently and very slowly, just close your eyes. And now you will observe the moment you close your eyes, the power of hearing increases. You will hear my voice and all the other sounds that are there in the room or in the vicinity of your home. Now listen to the sounds around you. Can you differentiate between the sounds? Sound of AC, sound of fan, my voice, maybe some birds chirping, vehicles going by, plane going by, people talking. See how many sounds you can decipher and be aware of. Any sensations or feelings of taste in your mouth of the lunch or the breakfast that you had today. Just feel the taste of that meal in your mouth. Now sense any sensations of warmth or coolness where the air touches your skin. Sensations where your body touches the surface that provides support to you, that is providing support to you right now. And now try to remember or bring into your awareness the fragrance of a rose flower. Be in that fragrance for a while. Now sense your forehead and the area around your eyes. This is an area where a lot of stress, tension is there. We hold a lot of tension there. Just be aware of that area. There is no right or wrong. Just notice and gently name any sensation silently, like warmth, tingling, pressure, heavy. Just observe it. Let your attention slowly and gently move to the top of your head, to your scalp, and down the sides and back of your head, and feel your neck, the muscles around these areas, and even sense inside the throat. Now, sense both of your shoulders, the large, heavy muscles of your shoulder and shoulder blades. If you notice any tension or discomfort here, just be aware of it. Or if you like, you can breathe in into those areas and feel like the breath is massaging both your shoulders. Let your attention move slowly down your arms, sensing your upper arm, elbows, lower arm, your wrist, your palm, all the 10 fingers. The hands are center of so much of activity and expression. Feel the sensations. Shift your attention to your chest, around your heart. What do you notice there? It may be different in the next moment and the next moment. Our body moves at a slower pace than our mind. Just be aware of this whole area of your chest and heart. Now allow your attention to move into your stomach. Let your attention rest there and feel the breath coming in and going out. How our belly expands to each inhalation and how our belly contracts when we exhale. This is the rhythm that we all have to look for coming back to no stress levels. This is the pattern of that calmness, of that relaxation in all of us. So whenever in stress, come back to this breathing pattern, which is unique to every individual right now. Continue into your hips, to your upper legs, knees, lower legs, calf. Just keep on observing what kind of sensations are there. No right or wrong, just observe. Move down into your feet, ankles, soles of your feet, and all 10 toes. Your feet work very hard all day long. Just feel all the sensations here. It could be warmth, coldness, tightness, tingling. pain, whatever is the sensation, just feel it. Now take another breath and see if you can feel your whole body all at once, sitting or lying here, breathing from the tips of your toes up through the legs, your torso, your arms, into your head, face, and the top of your head. Feel your body as one, whole field of sensation and energy. Keep breathing your natural way of breathing. Slowly come back to this time and space where we are. Become aware of the surroundings around you. Very gently, very gently. Come back. You can rub your hands, place them on your eyes, and very gently open them. जी सर. So you are on mute.
Thank you. Thank you, Hema. It has been such an honest and forthright talk. It's not easy to open up one's life before others. It requires a lot of inner courage. But spirituality gives us that power and authority both. And that was in full display here today. So anybody wants to share something, ask a question? I see Ritu has already unmuted herself. Ritu, you want to say something?
Sorry, sir, I didn't realize that I have unmuted myself.
Yeah, okay. But you are never short of words. Umaji is there. Yes.
Thank you, Hema ji. Thank you so much. I felt it was worth the wait. I've been waiting for this for so long, and Divine said yes. Divine just acknowledged it. Thank you so much. It was amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Master.
Anybody
Thank,
else?
thank you, Hemaji.
एक second.
Please, sir.
Thank you, Hemaji. Like what Umaji brought out, it worth a wait. I was always very keen to listen to you because whenever I spoke to you, I always found a lot of positive energy from you. And undeniably, I think what you've spoken, frankly, my perspective has changed about you totally. And I think, like what God says, gave you introduction, it truly stands that you are a blessed one and you are very different and you have these callings which come to you. And I never knew that you had done so many past regression theory, and I was just going through, I never knew all this. Today I've discovered a new Hema, and I think I'm so very glad. And today I'm telling you genuinely, it's from my heart coming, that this group is not a normal group. This group is something different. And when I speak to you, speak to Gors, I speak to anyone else out here on, every time there is a great takeaway which I take. And I'm telling you today, I think your experiences have shared a lot of commonality with my journey as such. And I think you opened up a lot of things within me. And I just didn't want to stop. I wanted you to continue and continue. I know everything has a limit, and I'm literally waiting for the second phase. And the very fact that your session was there today, I'm in US, and in the morning at because I get up in the morning for my meditation, so that's for 2:30 to around 4:30, and I went out 4:30 again, got up at 5:30. So I thought whether I'll feel sleepy, but I'm telling you, you have touched something within me. Your experience has touched something within me. I feel very rejuvenated, and there is something I think I'll be speaking to you separately. I want to share a lot of things with you. Thank you, Hemaji. It was absolutely a divine message. I think it's for a number of people here, I'm very sure. And God said, thank you. I think you are the one who has galvanized this group, and you really wouldn't know that what you're taking us or where you're taking us. I think you are a godsend man for us.
It was God, sir, who said, "Hema, तुम कब अपना talk कब दे रही हो?" और मैं लगता था मैं कहाँ छुप जाऊँ किस कोने में?
ये मेरे को लगता है ये कोई वक्त का इंतजार होता है, तो ये कोई वक्त होता है जबकि है. And look at the people today. You know, the number of people who have been there listening to you, it's been phenomenal. Thank you. I think I've got so much. Thank you very much, and thank you, Gorsa, for getting everyone else. You are a godsend man for us, and हम आपके साथ हैं हर समय.
Thank you.
अब नहीं छोड़ेंगे. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else wants to say something? So
I would like to say a few small things. Hello.
Just
Ishala ji.
yes, please go ahead.
I realized, I have heard part of her story. Spending 4 days or 5 days with Hemaji in Janakeshwar has given me so much of inspiration, so much of clarity, and an insight into Hemaji's heart, the strengths and the way she has moved. Each minute that I spent with her, has been a learning. And today, getting it in more details was just awesome. I said, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Ishala ji.
Hema, you spoke about your pain so openly, and when you were speaking, I was reminded of a particular Nazm by Dr. Allama Iqbal, and it it has a spiritual tint, though in a particular movie it has been taken as a kavali. And the poet says, "Na bacha bacha ke tu rakhe se, तेरा आईना है वो आईना कि शिकस्त हो तो अजीज तर है निगाहे आईना साज में." जो इनिशियल लाइंस हैं उसमें कहते हैं, वो पोएट बोल रहा है, भगवान को बोलता है, कभी आए हकीकत मुंतजिर नजरा लिबास मजाज में. कि हकीकत मुंतजिर, हकीकत इज द ट्रूथ. So we all want to know the truth. So what he is telling, oh God, you are that person for whom I have been waiting so anxiously. Why don't you materialize before me in a concrete form? And then he says कि हजारों सजदे तड़प रहे हैं मेरी जबीन नियाज में. So many prayers, my mind is flooded with, there's this whole flood of prayers that wanting to be let loose. So why don't you come? And then in one of the stanzas he says, "Na bacha bacha ke tu rakhe se, tera aina hai wo aina." Aina means mirror, but here the allusion is to the heart. कि न बचा बचा के तू रखे से, तेरा आईना है वो आईना कि शिकस्त हो. शिकस्त होने का मतलब उर्दू में टूट जाना. So break. कि शिकस्त हो तो अजीज तर है, it becomes dearer, it becomes more light. निगाहे आईना साज में, in the eye of the person who has made that mirror, who has made that heart. So when we go through pain with awareness, we are certainly making room for God to come and reside within us. And this was very much evident or on display here today through your experiences. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Deepa, why don't you speak?
So
Deepa?
one point here I would make, I missed mentioning it. It's not that life has been rosy all day time, So lot of struggles, pain, tribulations with children, with extended family keep on happening. And during those times, there was that low feeling. I went into depression, that lowness, the feeling of अब जिंदगी खत्म हो जाए बस, अब और नहीं झेल सकते. No, all those thoughts just used to keep on coming. And being a housewife, sometimes I used to ask God, बाबा के सामने जब मैं बैठती थी तो मैं पूछती थी, आपने खाली भेज दिया मेरे को, कुछ डाल के नहीं भेजा. So I used to feel that people have so much of talent within them. They know how to write, sing, dance, work. Their mental capabilities are such interesting. And every time, मैं खाली हूँ, कुछ नहीं दिया आपने, आपने मेरे अंदर कुछ डाल के ही नहीं भेजा है. But as I will progress later in the next talk, I will talk about this. So you mentioned this.
I believe Deepa wants to say something. Deepa, please go ahead.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste.
Hello, Hema. I've never met you in person. Of course, I know Dinesh slightly, but I've always felt a lot of love for you. I don't know how you can love a person without meeting them. And today, I literally started crying when I was hearing you. I've been listening non-stop. But God bless you. Stay blessed always, beta. Just be happy. I hope you get all the happiness in the world. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Deepa.
Thank you.
So, I think it's time to close. Or anybody wants to say something? No. So sometimes silence is quite vocal. So let us end with a Shanti part. ॐ सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनो सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चिद् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. May peace and auspiciousness prevail everywhere.